Hey students, in light of this current COVID pandemic, I've had some time to think about how can I help continue the education which we embarked upon this past September. I figured that if it's not safe to come to the classroom, why not bring the classroom to you? So here's going to be my first attempt to make such an educational video so we can relive the classroom experience together. So without further ado, welcome to Mr. B's Educational TV. So today's learning objective are how can we greet each other in these times of social distancing, in this time of this COVID crisis. It is still important that we can communicate with one another. We're social beings, we're social creatures at heart, and I think it's important that we still have those connections, so that we can stay strong through this struggle. And to add the extra historical and cultural flavor, I'm going to talk about the idea of namaste and the history behind it a little bit, and how this might be one of our options in this time of social distancing. So this all came up to me when I was listening to the radio, and the people being interviewed were young students in New York City, and this was right at the outbreak of the COVID crisis. And they were talking about how they were adjusting to not being able to, high five or shake hands or give pounds. And a lot of the kids were talking about, they were basically high fiving with their feet, which is still kind of breaking that 6-foot distance rule. But obviously, these young kids were already thinking about this, and it got me thinking about, what would be a safer way to do this? Obviously, dabbing your feet or high-fiving with your feet, you're kind of breaking that 6-foot barrier. And even your feet are kind of dirty. Feet are transmitters of lots of dirt and other, bacteria. It's probably wise not to do this, but obviously people still want that connection. They still feel the need to say hello. It's like instinctual. I think from the mouth of babes, you recognize it immediately that people have that desire to connect. So it's important to maintain those connections. So the question is, how can we do this without breaking the 6-foot distance rule, which we really need to stay true to? So there's obvious ones that, we take for granted or don't really do, or not maybe, I think because the touch, not losing out on that touch, you're missing out on something. But right now, we can't take that risk. So one of the obvious ones is the obvious hello, wave your hand, hello, duh. We all know that one. I was thinking of some stupid ones too, silly, goofy ones. And for you Star Trek fans, the live long and prosper sign. It's more, I think, an outro than an intro, a goodbye more than a hello. But I think for you Trekkies, this one would work perfect. For you extra super cool people, maybe flashing the double pistols is the way you want to go. Pa-pow, pa-pow, pa-pow. And then on a more serious note, people practice greetings without shaking hands or high-fiving throughout Eastern Asia right now to this day. And historically speaking, this was even a European custom, especially among men. Women tended to curtsy, while men would bow, especially when they were recognizing a higher rank. So bowing is one way that we can greet each other. We might want to consider integrating that into our repertoire of greetings now that we have to respect that 6 feet of distance. Now, another option that we can consider is the namaste. Now, a little background about the namaste. There are historical artifacts depicting the namaste dating back to 2000 to 3000 BC. So this is something that we've been doing for a long time as human beings. It originates in a written language called Sanskrit, and it translates roughly to "I bow to you." Okay. In Hinduism, they take it to another level, where it's not just me physically bowing to you, but it's my inner spirit recognizing the inner spirit in you. And that's how the Hindus, interpret Namaste, at least a stricter interpretation. All right. Now, where in the world is this practice? And I'm going to try to bust out the handy dandy writer thinger here and highlight this for you. So roughly speaking, it kind of goes right around this region. Okay. So there's where people namaste. Okay, it's a gesture widely used throughout the Indian subcontinent and parts of Asia. Namaste is a common spoken valediction or salutation originating from the Hindus and Buddhists. So where Hinduism and Buddhism is practiced, we'll include that too. Right there, you will see the namaste. Now, when I was going through my research, I found two interpretations of this namaste, and a more stricter interpretation is that this wouldn't be a universal hello. You're not just namasteing everybody. You just and instead this is more of a situational greeting. Okay, and the examples that I was able to identify were if you're greeting an elderly person,
namaste.
Namaste. All right. If you're greeting, you're the student and you're greeting your teacher,
namaste.
That's another good opportunity. Or if somebody was, very helpful, they helped you out, then you could also
namaste.
Namaste. All right, but I've also noticed, though, that there are looser interpretations of this as well. Okay? And, especially in this situation, this COVID situation that we're living in, I've been noticing that, my mistake, that the interpretation is getting looser. Okay? And here I'm going to load up a little example.
Are you okay with shaking hands with firefighters?
Well, we didn't shake hands today, and we looked at each other and we said, what are we going to do? It's sort of a weird feeling. And we said at the same time, we did this. I just got back from India, and I didn't shake any hands there, and it was very easy because they go like this, and Japan goes like this. They were ahead of the curve.
So you're seeing, even among our state representatives, this interpretation of namaste is starting to be, more universal. It can be just a simple greeting. And, as I've gone through other conversations and done my own research, it seems that it's not just state leaders that interpret it this way. So, some overall takeaways for the day. You can greet one another without having to touch. I think there's proof that we've been doing this for thousands of years. And there are many different greetings at your disposal that do not involve touch. And guess what, guys? You can even create your own original greetings that fit these 6-foot distance guidelines. So this is a great opportunity for us to be creative and original. Hey, yo! And just remember, even though we're used to the handshake, we're used to the hug, we're used to touch, we have been acknowledging each other without touch for thousands of years. So get creative. Think about this. And then after we've beaten and defeated this COVID, we can get together and give everybody a big ass hug. Thank you for listening.